What is up, everyone? I'm Scratch. Welcome to another Etheria restart video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. 4 more days till the official launch, guys, and I know that everybody is super excited. In today's video, guys, I want to talk about the free units that we are getting in the game, if they're worth building, where we can use them, and what are our expectations from the free units. And to be honest with you guys, just kind of like be super blunt, right? You are going to get tons and tons and tons of summons, okay? As a free-to-play player, probably in the first 5 to 7 days, you're going to get approximately 500 summons or so. And with that in mind, you're going to be able to pretty much pick up almost every single SR that we have in the game, unless you're really, really unlucky. Now, some of you guys might be really unlucky. Some of you guys might be looking to have a crazy challenge where you're planning to don't use any SSR units. You're planning to use some of the rare units and stuff. So we're going to have a look at pretty much all of the rare units. Of course, I'm not including all of the SRs, even though kind of like in the back of my mind, you can call them free to play because the game is super generous with summons and it's fairly accessible to get them. You have all of the summoning banners that will, of course, allow you to try and handpick some of them. Like, for example, if you really want to put your hand on Chucky the Echo, Kraken, or Dyna, just come in here, do 30, 40 summons, and as long as you're not extremely unlucky, you're going to get them all, okay? But leaving all that on the side, I do want to mention one thing. They said that they will drop a new patch notes in their Discord. It did not happen yet. Most likely, it will happen tomorrow, so probably in the next 12, 24 hours or so. I'm actually looking forward to see if they're planning to do any rebalance, if they're planning to do anything crazy in terms of changes. They announced a new shop for Arena from where we can actually get the dupes and stuff like that. Very curious to see if we have any changes right here at the dungeons and stuff. Most likely we won't, to be honest. I highly doubt it. But then you never know. The main reason why I've never made the tier list yet is because I'm waiting for the patch notes. It's pretty pointless for me to make a tier list based on the beta, just to basically drop these patch notes. And then we see tons of changes and that tier list becomes completely irrelevant. So that's basically what I'm waiting for, to see if they're rebalancing any units, what new units we are going to get in the new update on the official release, right? Because they announced, I think, that we might get around 6. Not sure if they're going to be instantly dropped or not, but either way, I'm looking forward to see what we have in the patch notes. Now, as I've mentioned, you are going to get quite a few free units as well. Some of them will be at the very beginning. Linglu, for example, is going to be unlocked after 7 days, but we're going to get to her in just a bit. I want to talk a bit about some of the rare units, and is there any reason for us to build any of them? I feel like if you are extremely unlucky in the very first few days, and for whatever reason, you're not progressing fast enough, maybe you're just really unlucky with your pulls, then it is definitely worth considering in investing investing a little bit in some of these rare units up to like 4 stars or so. I would not go too crazy with them, right? Basically, I think 3 of them are actually pretty decent. We have number 41 right here. Thermometer boost, you're going to get some healing as well. It's basically like a second support unit for your team. It really depends. Are you getting Sanya early on? You're not getting her, right? So then you might have to think about it. Okay, should I invest a little bit in this? Maybe I have a better healer. Keep in mind, at day 7, you will get the SSR Linglu, which is actually very, very good. So you have the wound right here, which will not allow the enemy to receive a healing. You have the single heal and a stack of recovery over time, which is pretty good as well. And then right here, this is actually really good because you're getting 35% thermometer and an increased attack on all of your team. So this can be really, really helpful early game. And taking in consideration the elemental affinity as well, right? So this is the constant elemental affinity. You have no reasons to worry about the reason, hollow, or odd. So it will be a unit that can be used in a Terror Maton. It can be used in a Doki Doki. It can be used on Aurora if you really need to progress in those areas. But the elemental affinity while it's pretty strong in terms of what bonuses and stuff it gives, like advantages, disadvantages, some of the games have even crazier things. But at least from my point of view, from my background, the games that I'm playing, this is a very, very strong elemental affinity. So you really kind of like want to make sure you are taking that in consideration when you're building your team and not bringing in the weaker affinity versus a dungeon boss, because maybe on the lower stages you're gonna be fine while you're still progressing on the very first few stages, but once you start climbing higher, where you're a little bit struggling because you don't have the best gear, you might not have your units leveled up enough and stuff, that's when it's gonna hurt the most. So you gotta pay attention to the elemental affinity as well. So this is a unit worth leveling up a little bit if you really need that extra support. I wouldn't go crazy with these units. I would not take this unit to 6 stars, to be honest. But some of you guys might be up for a crazy challenge. Then this is actually a pretty solid red unit. Then we have Kachi right here. Thermimeter control and crowd control, okay? Now, considering that this game has something very, very unique, okay? And that is basically the ability to double your chance to land a debuff with every single unit. The higher the accuracy versus the resistance effect, the higher the chance. So this 35% chance to stun, it can actually go all the way up to 70% if you have enough accuracy on the unit, which is actually pretty damn crazy. Now, this is weak affinity versus Doki Doki. As I've mentioned, you will most likely end up in trying to push on higher stages where it's going to be a bit harder. You're going to struggle a little bit. That's when this unit becomes pretty irrelevant in there. And we have a much better unit that we can actually take in the Doki Doki. But for the Amber track, I think that this could potentially help some of you guys out, especially when you're not going versus a strong affinity. And it's honestly not a bad unit. Blast a single enemy, deal some damage, and a chance to decrease the thermometer by 30%, which is really good. Then right here, energizes an ally with energy supplements, granting 100% thermometer and increase attack, and reduces the cooldown of all the Animus' skills by 1 turn. This is actually really, really good. Of course, it goes only on one of your units, but it can be really, really helpful. And then you have the crowd control right here, which is very strong because you're dropping thermometer and you're inflicting a stun as well. It's kind of like a baby Marvel, okay, with this skill, but you don't have... actually, more like a baby Kraken, sorry. More like a baby Kraken, because Marvel brings the decreased speed, the decreased resistance. Kraken, on the other hand, drops a bit of thermometer, brings in the freeze, right? So think about this one like a baby Kraken. Then we have one more red unit that's actually pretty decent as well. Kind of like a side damage dealer and can be really helpful with control as well. But this time around is the right affinity for Doki Doki. And I'm talking about Ashu, or Ashu, right? Basically, guys, right here, you're going to put decreased speed. That can be really, really helpful. You have an AoE on the passive, which has a chance to drop dot damage. Not necessarily the most interesting thing, especially if you don't have Dark Sanya. And then silence AoE. And this is a 60% chance. As I've mentioned, with enough accuracy, you can take this to the maximum, which is 90%. You have a 10% flat chance to resist your debuff no matter what you're doing, okay? That's how the game works. So being able to take this to 90% and silence the enemies in Doki Doki is actually massive. Same goes for the Amber track too, right? While you're progressing, you might be struggling somewhere, and this can be really, really helpful. I think this is another decent red unit. I would not really stress about any other red units personally, but hey. Then, you are getting Dorothy for free, guys, right? And while she is a decent healer, nothing too crazy in my opinion, if you are unlucky and you're not getting Sanya early on, you will have to basically work with her, maybe work with number 41 to have enough support to basically keep your team alive. I would not really invest much in this unit either. As I've mentioned, I really think it might take us 2, 3, 4 days to kind of like collect most of the SR units, but I feel like everybody will manage to get all of the SR units in like the first couple of weeks. So you need to keep that in mind as well, and do not overinvest in some of these characters that you might not be using later, right? So, deals a bit of damage and heals the ally with the lowest HP by 150% of the damage dealt. You actually want to build her with attack because her healing is based off attack. With this skill right here as well, she heals a single ally for 320% attack, purifying all debuffs, and applies a casket remedy, which once again is pretty nice. Some of the healing that's basically over healing the target can convert into shield. You have the AoE heal right here, and this again heals all allies for 250% of her attack. Now, if you have her in the team, and if you have number 41 as well, and you have that increased attack too, that will actually help you to heal even more with Dorothy, right? But as I've mentioned, I'm kind of like counting that the majority of us will get Sanya early game, and 7 days later, you're going to get Linglu, which is making a massive, massive difference. Then, I do want to talk about basically, let's talk about Grey first, and then we're going to talk about the chest that you can get for free. So Grey is an amazing, amazing unit, right? He is on the Hollow Affinity. I'm going to call it green, guys, because to be honest, it's going to take me like 5 weeks to remember all of these Affinity names. I suck at names, so that's one of the main things. He's great versus the Terror Maton. Can be good versus other areas as well. Good versus Doki Doki, right? So what I do like about him, you're gonna get him in your very first core team when you start playing, right? He's gonna instantly appear in your squad. He buffs with crit rate. This is actually so freaking powerful at the beginning because early game is gonna be very hard for us to get close to reach 100% crit rate, 60, 70, 80% crit rate. We're gonna struggle with that, right? So getting this crit rate buff and then immediately get the extra turn and move on to dropping the defense down is actually massive. Now, from the testing that I've seen so far, guys, testing that I've done in the beta as well and on the server here, defense down, break defense is more impactful than having increased attack on your damage dealer. So making sure that you are kind of like fearing that defense down in pretty much every single one of your teams is going to be really, really important. Now, we do have Dinah as well that brings in the defense down. She brings in other debuffs that can enhance the damage. To be honest, that doesn't mean that there's no point to build Grey, okay? Even if you get Dinah, which is absolutely amazing too, and you can get her from the Freya banner, right? I still think that he is worth building and using, right? Like, she's amazing too. You will get her eventually, right? You have Vulnerable, you have Erosion, AoE defense down, the damage boost, really, really good. But I still think that Grey is a very solid unit that is worth investing in, you know? Personally, I will invest in Grey, and he can do side damage as well. Now, he's not going to do, like, crazy damage. He's not going to be your main damage dealer, but hey, it's like the sidekick, you know? Support and deal a bit of damage. Then, once you reach level 10, guys, you are going to receive a chest. So you're going to get this chest once you reach level 10, as I've mentioned, and you're going to be able to select from 3 different SR Animuses. Now, without a doubt, Kazuyo is the best from here, okay? I'm going to explain you a little bit why I think that she is the best. She's amazing versus the Doki Doki. She can be amazing in PvP as well. Not so good versus waves and stuff where if you deal damage, you wake them up with an AoE damage dealer. But if you have single target damage, you can actually get tons and tons of value. And she's very, very good at controlling the enemies. So where are you? She looks pretty awesome, actually. I love the big hands behind her. She is green affinity. As I've mentioned, amazing in the Doki Doki. You have a slumber, which is kind of like sleep, okay? Time for the evening break. She's going to have a chance to sleep with A1, 30%. This can go up to a higher chance, up to 60% with enough accuracy. You have the passive, once again, is all about sleep. And then the CC right here, you're going to have decreased attack, which is going to be really, really helpful. And you're going to have slumber for 1 turn. Now, this can go all the way up to 90% with enough accuracy, which is the maximum you can get in the game. Being able to basically drop that buff from the enemies on Doki Doki and actually get rid of their damage reduction is going to be massive. And she's so freaking strong. Getting that decreased attack as well can be really helpful. On high stages, they actually hit really, really hard too. So this is going to be a massive, massive unit for Doki Doki, Arena, Amber Track, tons of different content as well, okay? If we're talking about the other units that you can get from there, so we actually have Yang. He is a good buffer, right? He is a good buffer. So you have the A1, increases the thermometer a little bit. Then right here you have increased attack and increased crit rate on all allies. This is actually really, really good. Very helpful to have the increased attack and increased crit rate on the same skill. And then right here, he's actually going to increase all allies thermometer by 10%. And when the doc deals a critical hit, he has a chance to dispel a buff, which should make him good versus the Terror Maton. But of course, the Affinity is not his best friend in there. Plus, you need crit rate. So basically, you kind of like want to buff with the crit rate first. Or of course, you can go with Grey, buff the crit rate, and then get the doc close to the chance to crit, so he actually has a chance to dispel that immunity from the boss. But I don't think that he's going to be as helpful early game or anything like that, so I would not pick him from the chest, okay? Of course, that depends if you are summoning one of the three of them. Of course, either you're gonna go for a dupe to empower the main one that you want to build, or you're gonna select a different one just to kind of like collect all of the Pokemons, right? Then, we do have as well Turra Dot right here. Very good buffer, but I don't think she's great for the Terror Maton, and that's mainly because you have the main skill, which applies increased attack and increased defense. Really, really good, right? But this skill doesn't strip the buff. And then you need to basically use a different skill to use the buff. So you kind of want to have it all in one, strip the buff at the beginning, right, with the main skill, then let the rest do their job. She's not bad or anything like that. She's actually useful in many different areas, including the Terror Maton, but I think you have much better options, and most likely you will get better, you'll summon better options, right? So right here, has a chance to decrease the thermometer and a chance to dispel a buff. This is very, very good for the Terror Maton, right? Because you want to drop the thermometer as much as possible on the boss, don't allow him to wreck you, and dispel that freaking buff. And the A1 has a chance as well to basically gain accuracy up. Then, that's it for the chest. Personally, I think that Kazuyo is the best pick from the chest. Let me know what you guys think as well in the comments down below. Talking about the free SSR units that we are getting, sorry. Linglu, she's absolutely amazing. She's gonna be very, very good as a healer. Probably the best healer in the game, right? I still think Sanya is doing an amazing job as an SR, but she's really strong with the immunity. The crazy heal that she provides as well, you know, definitely pretty strong. And extending the buffs, that's actually going to be really, really helpful towards the end game progression everywhere pretty much, because keeping up your buffs for a longer duration, especially if you don't have your skills maxed out and stuff, is going to be massive. The main thing, you need to go through challenges to get this unit, okay? So I'm going to show you basically to refresh your memory in case if you do not remember what you need to do. So on day one, pretty straightforward. It's really not hard to get this done. And I think for a person that's not like a hardcore grinder in the game, picking every single one of these quests on daily basis on the respective day, I think you're doing great with your progress, okay? If you're doing this stuff much faster on day 2 instead of day 3, that's great. You're a hardcore grinder, right? But if you're not and you're still keeping up to date with these quests, I think you're really on track, and you're probably not doing many mistakes in the game, right? And you're on track with your progression. On day 2, empower modules, upgrade Animus stars, etc. Clear chapter 4. Day 3, upgrade unique shell to max level, so you will have to do that. Collect 10 unique or higher modules. That's gonna be pretty straightforward, right? Day 4, check in the union. Super easy things on some of the days, right? But you're gonna have to empower outstanding modules to level 9. You're going to have to get them, of course, get them to level 12. Reach silver for the first time this season in Arena. Achieve B rating in the Anchor Recon. defeat hard or above Doki Doki 10 times. Day 7, you might find that you're struggling on some of these things before you're able to get her. So that's when you're looking at all of these free units that I've just mentioned before, and they will easily allow you to rack all of these tasks, quests, whatever the heck they're called, right? So once you're getting her, she's going to be massive for pretty much every single account. Hopefully, you're not going to summon her before you're getting to this part. Or if you are, it is what it is, right? It's not necessarily the worst thing because you use the dupes to empower them and stuff. But I hate getting the free SSRs from summons before I get them for free. I don't know why. It's just my mentality. Probably everybody thinks the same. And then you have the final unit that you are getting for free, guys. I know at day 14, I think they're going to give us a random SSR for free, or maybe they're changing it. I forgot the name of that unit that was in the previous beta, not the latest one. Was a strong SSR. Everybody loved that. Was the fans' favorite unit. Maybe they're going to give us that unit for free as well. They mentioned something in the last video that they are doing something with it. Probably they're going to give it to all of us for free. Who knows? But I'm not really sure how and when, okay? Either way, the last unit that you're going to get for free, or the first SSR that you're going to get for free rather than the last, is going to be Leon, right? Absolutely solid as a damage dealer. Now, a lot of people are all like, I'm going to reset her. I'm going to reset her. She's great versus the Terror Maton. Can be great versus Aurora. Can be great in the Amber track. Can be even great in Arena if you don't really have other damage dealers. She doesn't only deal damage, guys, but she drops Thermitter as well, which is actually really, really good. I feel like a lot of people are kind of like underestimating this Thermitter still, you know, which is good because it's from all of the enemies. And it will allow her to overall rotate faster. Not the best damage dealer in the game or anything like that, but she can be useful. So I think anyway, you're gonna have to invest in her, right? You need it for the quests as well. I'm calling everything quests, even though they're not called quests because it's the hyperlink charter. But after you can reset her if you want to. Do you need to reset her? I don't think so. I think she will be very useful, especially if you're not pulling some of the craziest DPS in the game. I think it's worth keeping Leon up and running as well. Most likely, I will keep mine up and running and I won't reset her, right? But that's pretty much all in terms of free units, guys. As I've mentioned, personally, I really think that all the SR will be free. I see them as free units. Yes, it does take time to summon them, but considering that I've barely spent any money during the beta and I've collected all of the SR units in the we had 12 days of beta or something like that. I think they are pretty damn free to play and you're going to be able to collect them, right? Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I will make a video to kind of like lay off my plans to see what I'm planning to do on day 1, day 2, etc. I will walk you through my progress as well once the game is released, guys. What teams I'm doing, what I'm doing with my summoning and stuff. Let me know what you think about the free units. Are you planning to reset your Leon or you're not sure yet? Appreciate all of you guys watching. If you enjoyed the content, do me a favor, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.